what is the advantage of a software that it's not designed to go just with a piece of hardware in your books, you know?
Right. So the answer is, if you first of all, I can work with what different kinds of hardware as it comes out, and you're not tied to a particular manufacturer. Second thing is, if you're trying to do an A/B comparison study between amplifiers, one of the first things I got in trouble with was I published all of the band diagrams for various amplifiers, all using the same software to show how different they were. You can't really get that from some manufacturer. They're only going to show you what they have.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't believe in writing a protocol that people had to follow. I believed in giving them tools and let the people who are using them decide how to use the tools. And so that's a difference. So most of the other companies that do neurofeedback software, they'll give you a protocol that you use, or 2 or 3.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. So can you tell us exactly how EEGer gives you that flexibility?
Well, first of all, I way over designed it, because I came out of 30 years in aerospace, and you know, in aerospace they sort of object to crashing a second airplane if the first one crashed. So you have to build in everything to start with. So I built a lot of things into EEGer that really most people don't use. And
yeah.
I designed it. Yeah. I designed it because it was going to be a tool. It wasn't going to be a fixed protocol. So, you know, how do I consider this? I guess I'm still a believer that if you can't see what the brainwaves are doing, you can't figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
That's why EEGer has very minimal bars and more graphical displays of the signal. One of the things that the people tend to like about EEGer is its effect on people. And I think that has to do with the characteristics of the waves of the filters that are used. You know,
right.
I guess the best analogy would be if you're trying to get to the top of a hill and somebody points you out to a street. You know, if the only way you can find the top is to climb a wall, it's really hard to get there. But if it's slope on it, you can get there. And you can tell when you reach the peak when, oh, now I'm starting to go down. I think the brain responds to that also. And a very narrow digital filter, which there are possible, and I even have some, but we don't do that, makes it tough. You know, you don't know where you are, and then the brain goes, oh, there's where I am. Oh, wait, where was I? If you get out of that brain. So I believe that the proportional aspect of it is important.
The proportional aspect
of the band.
That's a very useful metaphor for people to have. And I'm wondering if you can expand on that even more, just that idea of the proportional filter.
Okay, so what I usually do is I tell people, okay, if you've got a copy of EEGer and you go to the plan session screen, you can look, that little graph down on the right-hand side shows the band pass limits for a particular band. And it can be very narrow or it can be wide. And you can actually switch to different filters if you'd like, different filter models, and you can see how narrow they get. And it gets to be harder and harder, I believe, for the brain to track in on that. Now, eventually the brain will do that. It's just you're working harder.
Yeah. Yeah. So you have the option. You have the option to change, to increase the amount of challenge in that way and decrease.
Right. So what happens is, because I said this is the tool set, you have the standard tools, and then there's several sets of other tools that you can use.